Every information gathering is guided by the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, and why. The who of the story is a Bishop George Nkwo of Kumbo, his Christians in Kambe town. Political and traditional authorities, together with a multiplicity of masquerades. The beginning of the journey to Nkambe, the beginning of the story. Let us call this clip Focus on the Cathedral and the Palace, or rather, focus on the Bishop and the Fonts. Although there is far more to this clip than just the Fonts and the Bishop. Upon arrival in Nkambe, that Friday, the 17th of February 2023, was the Ngwerong, that traditional legislative wing of the Grassfield Fondoms. You know, before the coming of Christianity, those people existed and were ruled by a neatly ordered hierarchical structure that has been transmitted from one generation to the next. For them, this is the best way to recognize the coming into their soil of an authority figure who recognizes them. Once upon a time, at the end of the celebration of a Holy Mass, this bishop was approaching a font, thus font being the bishop's Christian. But since traditional rulers do not ordinarily shake hands, he gave his shoulder for the bishop to touch. Perhaps because they are both fonts, one traditional and the other religious. A Facebook page owner, the Lamfu, brought it to public view and incitingly wrote, "Some traditional conservatives have not seen the tap of the Bishop of Kumbo's hand on the shoulder of the font of Mbiame Noble. They say this is unacceptable and should for now be considered as a protocol breach that should not happen again in future." Was it a tap or a touch? And what about this picture in the Nsoforu? And look at respect expressed in a manner of greeting. Have you ever asked yourself why traditional authorities do not shake hands with people directed into the inner palace? The bishop listened to their concerns, for the bishop's people are the font's people, and the font's people are the bishop's people, God's children. The font's voice is never himself.
That they should come well and feel free to be here. That the frequency of coming to Nkambe is showing a sign of preparing to shall one day come forever.
They desire the permanent presence of the bishop.
The worship that the Nkambe Fondom is reminding them of the hospital, reminding them of the diocese.
And those are the concerns. They want to be with the bishop forever.
When they are in Kambe Fondom, they want to remind the bishop of the Ngwerong they provided here, which was very significant.
I want to acknowledge in a very special way the openness, the welcome, the collaboration.
But there are some guys out there who are more close than the fonts enthroned. They call themselves conservatives.
It's very significant what this palace does, recognition of the mission of the church.
With all due respect, if a font is a Christian, can he not be anointed by the bishop? Can he not be blessed by a bishop? And can a doctor not attend to him?
When we see that church which we built there, this palace was present practically every day to supervise the work.
The one reason we do not shake hands with traditional authorities in the grass fields is simply because through handshakes, those who envy their positions can overwhelm them with power and overtake them. His Royal Highness disappeared for some time and then reappeared again with a special gift for the bishop.
We think that one day we'll have a hospital to that level.
That is like the Shizong Hospital. It ended with prayer. Logically speaking, a font prays because he recognizes God in his life and he respects even the men of God. You may need to see how the fun of Mba in Kambe Opambot greeted the Bishop of Kumbo. Please look at this. Did we raise an alarm about this? And did we say the God of the Bishop is more than the God of the fun? How serious the presence of the Bishop in this palace was can be seen from the fact that all forms of masquerades came out to welcome him and to appreciate him for who he is, for what the church has done and continues to do in this locality. When Christianity meets tradition, it does not destroy it, rather it seeks to purify what is impure in it. Just keep watching. And among enlightened people, tradition, politics, and religion respect each other. The political authorities are equally part of the bishop's people, but they were nowhere to be seen. And so the journey to the parish church of Christ the King in Kambe town. And while moving away from the palace, pardon to the one who incited the reactions, the Facebook page owner and administrator, the Lamfo. Pardon to those who speak before they reason, who spoke disrespectfully to another fun, the bishop. Pardon to those who know so much about the fun and tradition and know very little or nothing about the bishop and the Church of God.
Finally. As usual, Kambe has a good reputation to welcome and glad plenty.
The next day, the bishop went down to Akweto. Here, the church is raising a health structure to serve the village and their neighbors. It is here we met someone who kept on referring to the bishop as Magisterium.
Magisterium. I would like for Becky that Wednesday will be
In the palace, he was referred to as your worship.
Your worship.
And at the end of this prayer, we heard the same thing.
Amen. Thank you, Magisterium.
Then we took off for Binjo Nkambe. These families undergoing a natural family planning formation will never forget that the bishop stopped by and greeted them. This is our school known as Kadboker, where agro-technicians are trained at a very subsidized rate. Consider sending a child or two here. Now we are moving to Njema village, where we met the drumming talent embedded in a little girl. She was trained in drumming by a seminarian she does not even remember his name again. Seminarians do a lot when they visit Christian communities. Priests do not have time to do most of what seminarians do. But the good thing is that the seminarian becomes the priest, and technically speaking then, priests do it.
The person who taught me how to play drum is a seminarian.
Away from Njema village to Njimon, the Mbororo community just after St. Rita's College. They thanked the bishop for the provision of a school, St. Rita's College, and the Catholic primary school, where they have trained all their children. They also drink clean pipe-borne water, thanks to the bishop.
We thank you for this second visit to this our own village, which named the second time. We thank you for the nearby primary and secondary schools.
Well, thank you very much. Very important things I want to mention: water, health, education.
This is the Moor Christian community. They sing with a passion. They do it for God. The Mission Samba. We did not only meet talent, we met a prayer warrior, a firebrand intercessor. When she finished this prayer, a Baptist Christian woman in the congregation asked if she could fire another prayer.
Of more mission.
All of us are challenged, are convoked to make that word of God be part and parcel of God.
I have actually forgotten how they call this juju, but it belongs to the youth and it's for entertainment and nothing more.
The opening of the year is who was the chairperson. Because from the former one.
This is indeed entertaining, but there is more. Now down to Concept village, where the bishop blessed a bridge. The people of Concept believe that this bridge is the dwelling place of principalities and powers of darkness. But the bishop explained to them that what they need is a good engineer who can build the bridge. This is the bridge. The bishop's car could not cross. Instead, it went the other side.
We never pass for the bridge with motor. Motor what kind of water. But when we bless and we ask God that you give me some fine engineer them where they get sense how to build road. Build road. Give me the sense for Bilam and Bilam for fine where we don't fear. Or cross, because what we don't have plenty fear that we have, but we don't put plenty other things. This one, that one. Oh, bless him, because you know all comes from above. Let me see. Yes. We're asking God to give us the people who can make it possible for us to have a good bridge. So that cars can come in and out like that, and people can pass without fear. Grant that by this water may be defended from all evil spirits and from all powers of evil.
And so to the question, should we bless the bridge or we should build a bridge? The answer is simple. We build the bridge, we bless the bridge. We bless the bridge, we build the bridge. Some armchair commentators looking at this blessing of the bridge called it stupidity of the first order. In fact, I am sure they succeeded to miss to hear what the bishop said. But I equally call on you to stay tuned to the end of the clip and you will see something more that the bishop said in connection with blessing the bridge. Do we bless the bridge or do we build the bridge? The journey to Concha village is not actually a short one. This bike is like Simon of Cyrene. You hear that? Someone could even climb behind him, he wouldn't care.
Come salute Bishop. Come salute Bishop. Go for here. Go. Please do not forget to subscribe and to like and share our content. To subscribe simply means you are interested in our content and you would like to be notified whenever we upload anything in YouTube. Here, the bishop again meets a fun. This time, the fun of Concha village. Here he is. He greets him respectfully as usual.
Today, I don't reach. I thank God for this visit. And I thank my plenty for this welcome. Thank you very much, the people. And I know say this place, when I took say in heaven, it's heaven. Plenty in there we would like to talk and we should don't talk small. How we go together, make concept, be a real heaven. Let me say people they will like to see here, but come here.
One never knows why they like climbing on cars. The bishop settles control. Everyone runs down to the place prepared to welcome the bishop.
Furthermore, we also wish to present before your Lordship a disturbing phenomenon called witchcraft, even practiced by some of your Christians, that has hindered the development of Concha village. Many of our children have testified the existence of witchcraft kingdom under the broken bridge linking Concha and more, where you cross before reaching here.
Have you got a good engineer? Have they planning where? Have you got a good engineer? Have they planning where? It not be enough for Bishop to come bless bridge. He will not get good engineer for having for build correct bridge. No power not there for this ground. We pass Jesus on.
A pastoral visit gives us an opportunity to review that faith, which kind of belief the people of Christ the King Parish have. Is it growing, or is it some superficial faith that does not touch or influence our daily life, our relationship with people? Time also then to renew our commitment to grow better in the practice of that our Catholic faith.
Now look at this and you will understand what I meant when I said the bishop's people are the funds people and the funds people are the bishop's people. This is the Werem in church. Have you ever known that in the Catholic Church, everyone is addressed as brothers and sisters? There is no protocol duly respected because God has children, not title holders.
Today, the 19th of February 2023.